using it after you know the person that you are familiar with, and if the person is is a senior, even if in the company it can be in age, it can be younger than you, but it's a senior in the company. So you have to have respect for that. So yeah, it depends on how the position is. Mm-hmm. But if after a while, to your coworkers, because you're coworkers and you work every day together, after you don't have to call them Mister, you have to call them by the name or the nickname that they like. If they like it, you have to always ask permission. And but for your boss, it's always good to Mister, the name. It depends on also the style of company and the style of the word the
organizational culture.
The organization.
Yeah.
So it depends on everything. That's why you do the research first. And the other things that you never do during the interview is to respond yes, no. Always have like not complex answers, but a little bit more than yes or no.
Explication more.
If they need a bit more explanation, you can have, but never have yes or no. It's because the interview is not only it can be it has to be two-way. It's not just you're not just there to like a robot. You need to demonstrate that you have enthusiasm for the job, that you are not a robot, that you can have a relationship with your coworkers, because they want to know how also you can open to the organization. Mm-hmm. And if you are always like that, like yes, no, yes, it seems like you are you don't work well under pressure, that you're very nervous, and it happens because nothing is perfect. It happens. You can be very nervous, but try not to be like that. Try not to do jokes in the interview, and some other stuff that don't do during the interview are like, don't get too overly excited or aggressive. Mm-hmm. Never fight. If you think they are not being respectful, just take a breath and say, excuse me, I have to excuse myself, and just get out. The interview is not like if you feel that they are being unrespectful against, or they are discriminating against you. Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to work for a company that is doing that. But if you try to do jokes with the interviewer, it doesn't look good either, because they don't want, the first impression that you're gonna give them is that you don't take the job seriously, or the interview very seriously. Try not to talk about any political, religious, or any type of news that are like how do you call it?
Controversial.
Controversial. Thank you. Don't bring those to the interview. Just those are outside of the office, with your friends, with your family. For an interview, those are no-go, and because it's bad. It's always, and they are controversial subjects because they are. And even if the other person asks you about, you can't say that you're not. You don't have any. Oh no, I don't. For example, for political, I would say like, no, I don't. I haven't seen it. Like for example, we have now like the presidential debates. You can say, oh no, I didn't see it. See, you don't have to keep into that subject because it's very controversial. And that's another way, a very tricky way that they can discriminate against you. Because if they ask you about for example, some religious question, and you say what religion you are, that's it's a trick question they do to know what religion you are, and that can be used against you. So never try those subjects and don't in an interview.
It's better the answer I don't know, I know.
Yeah, you always want to be respectful towards the other person. But yeah, you just can say, oh, I'm not familiar with that.
Well, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Cecilia for her wonderful insights and tips on how to conduct before, during, and after
Oh,
the
some-
interview. Any
sorry.
other thoughts?
Yeah, after the interview, you always have to say thank you for having me. Thank you for the time, taking your time for the interview. You always have to be appreciative because that's their time. And you can ask them, oh, you are gonna call me, or what's the next step after the interview? You can ask them, like, what's the next step for me? And they will tell you, like, we will call you, or please be here next week. Sometimes they do the interview with big groups, so they will tell the group, like, oh, you have been selected to come next week. So they will tell you. The other thing that they recommend a lot is after the interview you can send a thank you note, written thank you note to the person that's why after you get out, before you get out of the interview or during the interview, you have to have the business card of that person. The contact information is very important because maybe they don't need someone with your qualifications right now, or maybe you don't have enough qualifications to get the job right now. But in the future, if you want to still work for them and you have very good relationships with the person, with the interviewer, you can contact them later. So you always have that contact information.
Okay, so it's good give a card.
After you finish, that's why the contact information after you have the business card. Then after you finish the interview, you go home, and then the next day or 2 days later, you send a note thanking them. Thank you for your time with the interview. I will expect your reply about how the interview went, or something like that. It's some of these you can find them in the internet. They can be very formal, and they can be very like just a thank you note. They are very little like that. It doesn't have to be a letter. And yeah, but it's always good because they are gonna, oh, this candidate is good, and also send us a thank you note. So you're gonna be one of the first.
So it is all about PM, personal marketing.
Yeah.
You want to be unique, you want to be different, and you want to show enthusiasm to
Yeah.
get a job, but
Always
not
try-
desperation.
Yeah. The other thing is like never show desperation. Never show like I need this job. No. That's no, because yeah, they're gonna ask you why you want this job, and you're gonna be like, okay, I need a job right now. I don't. But even in the most like in the job that you don't want but you need, they are gonna ask you that question. And sometimes it's like you don't have something very nice to say, but you cannot say like I need this job.
By the way, question
No, my
if
current, I need this job.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
question if can an employer use that kind of question as a way of offering a lower wage, a lower salary? Because if the person shows desperation, the employer might use that as a leverage. Could that be possible?
It can be possible. With many of the tips or the suggestions is that never talk about salary in the first interview. Give the salary speech or the salary negotiation, because it's a negotiation, has to be after you've been offered the job, or after you've been offered a second interview, or third interview. So never talk about salary. And the question is that why you need this job, and they see you that you are desperate. They're not gonna offer you the best offer.
But for example, the person asks me how much earn do you want to earn?
They can ask you how much you earn in your past position, and you can tell them. But in the internet you can find your position and the one that you're applying to, because you're not gonna change for the same position. You're gonna change to a better one. And you know that you have the qualifications, and you know you have the education. So when they ask you how much, because they ask you how much you earned before to put the new offer. But you know, in the negotiation of the salary, you need to know how much is the range of your new position, the position you are applying to. Because it's not going to be the same. Because in the other, you didn't have experience. But now you have. Now you have a bachelor's, or maybe a master's, or maybe some certifications that give you more weight
Credence.
to that bachelor, to yourself, to your resume. So you need to search, to do your research on your position, and you to know what is the range that you need to have. Because you can say to them, look, this is the investigation I did, and from that they can do a better negotiation, or maybe a low salary in the range that you're supposed to get, but a lot of more benefits, healthcare, paid vacations. You have to see which are the benefits that are best for you. Maybe a salary is not that important for you, but maybe taking more than 10 days of vacation is better for you. It depends on what you want.
Is that leather?
Huh?
Is that leather?
Letter?
Leather question? O sea, leather.
That's it. Yeah, the salary negotiation is for after you have the position, after you have an offer, and you want to negotiate with them. But you always have to have how much is my price, like, because you are selling yourself, but you need to know how much you cost. And you can find it in the internet. We have a lot of resources, and they can help you get to know how much kind of person is the salary for that position that you're looking for. So do your research first. Know what are the benefits of the company. Yeah, it's good to get in the internet and search for that. It's good that we have that before they.
Okay.
Any questions? No?
Okay.
I'm gonna give you, this is something do and don'ts that we saw today. I'm gonna give you a copy of this so you can review it by yourself and have it with you when you go to the next interview, and you can prepare better for it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Ceci.
for your time.
You're
Okay.
welcome.